I'm Jenny, and I am a Reiki master and teacher, and I would like to tell you a little bit about the distance learning opportunities that I have for you. I am now offering Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, so that's levels 1 and 2, available from long distance, from anywhere in the world. There are a few extra things that you'll need to be able to do if you're outside of the United States or Canada. I will need to be able to connect with you online in some way, and we can do that possibly through Skype or another method. If you're in the US or Canada, we can connect by phone. Most of this will be done through written material, through video, and through audio, and through energy transmission when it's time for you to receive your attunement. However, at some point, I definitely would like to be able to speak with you, so it is important that, number one, you speak English, number two, that you have access to the internet and to some form of speaking with me. And I prefer to do that by phone when possible, but I am able to call you if you're in the United States or Canada. If you're outside of those areas, then you are welcome to get a calling card and call me. I can provide you with my phone number when we schedule something, or we can try to work something out via Skype. That said, Reiki Level 1, the main point of Reiki Level 1 is an introduction to Reiki. So this is for complete beginners. If you barely have an idea of what Reiki is, but you've decided that this is something for you and that you would like to embark upon a journey of healing yourself and eventually healing others, then this is a great place to start. Reiki Level 1 is a lot of self-healing. There's a lot of self-healing involved in that, and that is really the primary goal. However, you'll also learn how to transmit Reiki to others, and we'll focus a lot on that as well. You'll be able to work with Reiki with your friends, with your family members, even with your pets, your food, your water, your plants. If you're a gardener, you can Reiki your garden. If you have trees or shrubs that you love in your yard, you can Reiki those also. So once this course is done with the Level 1, you'll be able to do all of that. The only thing that you won't be able to do is you will not be able to practice professionally. For that, a Level 2 is required. But Level 1 is a prerequisite. So first you would take Level 1, and then I usually recommend about 30 days after you receive your certification in Level 1 before moving on to Level 2. But if you're somebody who has a lot of time and energy to put into this, and it's something that you really want to devote yourself to, that may be accelerated, so we can definitely discuss that. I'm very open to, that's just a general recommended suggestion. So Level 2 gets a little more involved in Reiki. It gets into the professional practice of Reiki. It strengthens your ability to transmit Reiki. There is also an attunement for Level 2 as well. Another thing that Level 2 brings in is the symbols, and one of the really cool things that you'll be able to do after a Level 1 is you'll be able to transmit Reiki through distance and through time. And that might sound a little bit crazy, but remember, energy defies space and time. Energy is everywhere, everything, and at all times. So that might be a little bit confusing if you're not familiar with that concept yet, but that's okay, not to worry. The important thing to know is that if you decide to move on past Level 1 into Reiki 2, that you will be able to transmit Reiki. So say you have a loved one who lives in a different area from you that you don't see very often. If they're not feeling well, or you just want to give them a little energy boost, a little bit of love, you'll be able to send Reiki to them from your home. And it's no different than if they were there with you as far as what the effects would be. The other lovely thing about using that is that you can also use it to transmit Reiki through time. So let's say, for example, that you've got a loved one who is having surgery, and you know that while they're in surgery, you won't be able to be there. You're going to be occupied at work at that time, and you won't be able to give them Reiki right at that moment. That's okay. Ahead of time, you can send Reiki forward into the future to the estimated time of their surgery, or just with setting the intention of into the future for when they need it the most. You can also send Reiki into the past. And this confuses a lot of people, but just to be very simple about it, it doesn't change what happened, but it can help heal some of the past traumas that somebody might be experiencing negative side effects from in the present. So sending it into the past just sort of clears some of that trauma, eases things a bit, and helps you to function better with whatever the side effects are from that past event, how it is affecting you now. So I hope that helps clear up a little bit about what Reiki 2 is. Reiki 2 allows you to practice professionally, allows you to send Reiki through distance and through time. With both of these levels, there is an attunement that comes with each one. So the breakdown is, for each level, part of it is written, part of it is through videos, part of it is through audio, part of it is through speaking directly with me, and there will be some emailing involved. You can always email me with questions or concerns. And in addition to all of that, you will be receiving an attunement, and that is something that we will have at a scheduled time that we mutually schedule together. And after you complete level 1, if you'd like to go on to level 2, that is absolutely wonderful. If you know ahead of time that you definitely would like to do both, I offer a package for you can purchase both together, and then we move along at your pace. You do level 1, you take some time to practice what you've needed to practice, and then when you're ready, we move along to level 2, and you get a little bit of a discount by purchasing them as a package deal. Now that said, there is one more level past that, and that is the master teacher level, like me. If you should decide that you would like to move on to the master teacher level, that is absolutely something we can do. Part of that we can do long distance. However, we cannot do the entire portion of it long distance. So if this is something you're committed to, and believe me, the master teacher level is not something for you to take lightly. It's a very serious undertaking. It involves making Reiki a significant part of your life. As a general rule, and again, this is very general, usually at least a year minimum after completing level 2 certification is recommended before moving on to a master teacher level. And master teacher level is, we say, by invitation only. Now that said, if you take level 1 and 2 and you have an interest in the master level, please talk to me and let me know. I will certainly monitor your progress. We'll keep in touch. And if it seems like the time is right and like you're ready for it, then it's basically like with the teacher's approval. So don't just sit around waiting for me to call you and say, hey, I think you're ready for master level. I may do that. However, I'd really like to know if you're interested. So if you get through level 2 with me, you'd like to move on to master level, absolutely let me know. And sometimes we just call it master, and sometimes we call it master teacher. It's the same thing most of the time. Now, if you talk with other teachers, there are some teachers out there who have divided the master and teacher into 2 separate levels. So if you study Reiki with me, and this is the traditional Usui Reiki, is that there's 3 levels. There's level 1 and level 2, as we've spoken about, and then level 3 is also the master teacher level. But there are some teachers out there, and I think this is just to make more money off of it, to be honest with you. I won't do that to you, but there are some people who will teach master and then teach teacher as a 4th level. I don't divide them up that way. If you do master teacher level with me, it's all one. You pay one fee for it. And part of that we can do long distance. However, in order to complete that and to be able to teach, you will need to come here to the Charleston area and meet with me in person. You don't have to spend a great deal of time here. A lot of it we can do over long distance. However, I will need to meet with you at least over the course of a few hours minimum on a scheduled day. So that is something that, but again, it's a serious undertaking. So wherever in the world you might happen to be, just keep that in the back of your mind if that is something that you think you might want to move along to. And because it is such a serious undertaking, I like to make sure my students are serious about it, but also I need to teach you, if you're going to teach, how to pass along an attunement to somebody else. And I could show you on a video how to do that, but I don't think that I would be fully being responsible if I wasn't meeting with you in person and witnessing you passing an attunement to somebody and making sure that you were doing it right. And I think that's really important for me to do that part in person. So again, I just want to just sort of make sure everything is clear about what the different levels entail and what would be involved if you do decide to move on to the master teacher level. So levels 1 and 2 can be 100% long distance. We can do everything via the internet and the phone. And then level 3, or master teacher level, if you decide to move on to that, most of that can be done long distance. However, in order to receive your certification as a certified master teacher, in order to be able to teach, you would need to come here to this area. We would have to schedule that, and you'd have to meet with me. And that is to make sure that you are familiar with how to pass on attunement to somebody else. Okay, that said, I would love to hear from you if you have any questions, and I really look forward to working with you if you decide to embark upon this wonderful, wonderful healing journey. Reiki has changed my life completely. I've been practicing since, I believe, 2004, and I've been doing other forms of energy work for a long time prior to that, and I think Reiki is just absolutely incredible. It has changed my life in so many ways, all for the better, and I really hope that it's helpful for you. Thank you so much. Namaste.